Hello, Factorio people. Welcome back to Factorio Overexplained. Episode 15, 1-5. Let me just quickly kick off this mining productivity research so I can explain to you what that does. I quickly tidied up, and I use the word tidied up loosely. I quickly expanded the bus because I realised that we are going to need some of these other things, sulfur and red circuits down here. It's becoming a bit of a mess. It's becoming a bit spaghetti-like. But we're nearing the end of the jumpstart base phase, of the pre-robots phase, and then once we've got, as I keep saying, once we've got robots we can start moving around a bit more. Today I'd like to get most of that sorted, if I can, by making flying robot frames, or at least the prerequisites to flying robot frames, which are batteries and electric engine units, and what we don't have. So let's start with batteries. Batteries are interesting because they need they'll be the first thing that we've built that need a fluid as well as a physical item. If I can find them on here, here we go. One iron plate, one copper plate, and 20 sulfuric acid made in a chemical plant. Oh, that's not true. Plastic needs a fluid and coal, doesn't it? I was more thinking of the electric engine units, which are made in an assembly machine and not a chemical plant. They use a fluid. It won't be until electric engine units that we'll be doing our first fluid into an assembly machine, which is ever so slightly different than a chemical plant, but not a lot. So let's make sulfuric acid, shall we? How do we make sulfuric acid? Well, it's a simple case of iron and sulfur and water into a chemical plant, and we have lots of chemical plants, so let's just bung it somewhere over here where the water is would make sense, I suppose. Let's have a look, shall we? Water in, iron plates in, sulfuric acid out. Simple enough. We can use this very convenient water supply here. I need to make some more offshore pumps. Sulfuric acid is a lot like the lubricant. You don't really have to worry about overflow and stuff like that. You just have it, and then once you have it, then that's fine. So I'm going to do it in mostly the same way as we did the plastic. Just do some undergrounds here to leave space for the belts and your inserters like this. So our water will come in from this side, underground here to here, and then underground from there to there, and then our products can come in there, and then our sulfuric acid can come out here and just go into a storage facility there. This is probably a bit over-tuned, but whatever. Then you have it, right? Then you have it. I might just move this, just so that it's in line with this, and this is looking a bit close to here as well, which, as we know, does not need to be such an issue, especially with the biters off. Let's go... I'll move it over just because, as I say, 4 doing these should be more than enough. And we can just plonk all these down. I won't need this one because the water will end there. Put my storage tank there, my pump here, some power poles there, there and there. We have established previously is the best way of sorting stuff out, and then we just need half a bell each of sulfur and iron. So let's just balance our 2 belts of iron. That is, I wanted to put it there, but I'm going to put it there just because that's where I ended up clicking. I want it to go there, so the best way to do this is to have... I mean, there's many different ways to do this. It really depends on how much of a mess you want to make. So like I could have iron coming in there and sulfur dropping in there like that. It's probably the best way to do it, even though it's not strictly... We're in deep spaghetti territory here. Spaghetti is a community term for this kind of build where there's not really any plan for anything, and it just sort of, where the belts end up is just where they go, and then you build around that, moving on. Which is basically what's happened. And we started with such high hopes here, and then it's just turned into... yeah. Everything's a bit overscaled as well, to be honest with you, for this stage, but it's fine. Right, so there we go, that's simple enough. Except for the water, I haven't put the water in. Good. Right, while that's ticking up, I will quickly go and show you what mining productivity does. So as we have gone into great lengths before with some of the math, everything has a crafting speed. But the other thing you need to take into account is the productivity, or productivity if you like. And the productivity of everything basically is just 1. One operation costs 1 set of the ingredients, and oh my god, iron is looking really bad. Productivity is separate from crafting speed in that you can get extra stuff for 1 craft. So here, now that we've got mining productivity 1, and I'll kick off the second one as well, we can see that our miners have an extra bar here. And their productivity over here is plus 10%. Over here, plus 10%. So that means for every 1 operation, this productivity bar gets filled up by 10%. So when this hits 100%, you get one for free. It's not extra. It doesn't tick down the expected resources by 2, because it's not affecting the mining speed. It's extra. Productivity is extra free stuff. And I can't find a good example of that because all of the remaining mining drills have... whoops. There we go, 264. So you'll notice over here that as this ticks... obviously it's paused at the moment because of how I have to draw. When the productivity bar fills up, this doesn't tick down twice. So this is 255, 254... oh no, it's going down. You're not going to be able to see because this miner and this miner and this miner is also taking up some of the iron that this one can take. So this isn't. But you're going to have to believe me. Basically, it's free. So we've added 10% to this iron ore, which is fine. In the mining productivity, it goes forever. Mining productivity 2, 3 needs some extra science, but then 4 forever just needs all of the sciences except military science. So you can get a lot more than... so this one is like 2.1 million, 4.1 million. We're already getting 10% extra on top of that. It's even more than 10% really, because as we just showed, these miners can mine 1 space further than their sprite. So then this one will have a catchment of like this. And I suppose it is still 10% regardless, right? Because this will mine 10 and give you 1 for free. This will mine 10 and give you 1 for free every single time. But if... no, ignore that. Ignore that. It is 10%. And then it'll be another 10% when this one finishes, and another 10%, etc., etc. That also applies to the pump jacks, which is very nice, so the oil will tick up. I'm going to leave this. I'm not going to bother tidying this up now. Iron is certainly looking like a bit of a problem, isn't it? If we need to replace it, we kind of also have to make sure that it comes in the same place, because that's where all my belts go, and I'm not rebuilding that now. So I might have to, off camera, just because it would be laborious otherwise, build a train probably from here up here and deposit the iron ore down there. Or maybe even this one. Or maybe both. Probably both. But maybe not both, because I don't see me needing both of those before we move on. Oh, the other thing I quickly did off camera is I started using some of the stone to make landfill, but in a really inefficient, horrible way. Because if I was smart enough, I would have realised that these should have gone on this side, so that then these arms could make the landfill. But it's fine. That just means we've got lots of stone in storage as well, and we can move it all at some point. Landfill is 20 stone, so it's we're gonna have some. I just feel like maybe we should start getting a supply of that sooner rather than later, especially because this stone is running out. But also you do need a stockpile of stone to make rails, but not much, because rails are quite cheap. I just had a sip of my tea and it tasted really weird. I think I had one of my pills stuck in my throat. Okay, we should have enough sulfuric acid now to think about making some batteries in decent quantity. Batteries go into accumulators as well, so accumulators you will need quite a lot of. Power is probably going to become an issue quite soon, yeah. So I might also think about making solar panels and accumulators, but probably won't. Let's just make batteries for now. Batteries need the sulfuric acid that we've just done, the iron plates and the copper plates. What else is going to need sulfuric acid? Sulfur has an F. Sulfuric acid has an F for some reason. Batteries, acid barrels, which I've not talked about at all, uranium ore, which we won't need, and processing units we won't need in the starter base at all. I'll quickly mention barrels, I suppose. It doesn't often come up, but I'll mention it while we're here. You can attach a pipe to an assembly machine and tell it to either make or unload a fluid. So we could say fill sulfuric acid barrel here, then the input is here, and then providing we also put in empty barrels, we can get sulfuric acid in barrels. Barrels can go on belts, and they can go into cargo trains as opposed to fluid trains. The stack size is 10. You never lose any either, and you get the empty barrel back once you unload it from the other side. So it is fairly efficient in terms of moving things if you don't want to move things by pipes. In terms of space, just not really in terms of like time or design. Like pipes are quite cheap, admittedly. Barrels are cheap as well. They stack more, so you can have 10 in a stack for 500 sulfuric acid, and then 500 times however many a train can hold. 500 times 40 is 20,000. That can't be right. You're telling me it's less than a fluid train? Something's gone wrong here with my math. 500 in a stack, because it's 50 times the item stack size, which is 10. It's 500 in a stack, and you can have 40 stacks in a cargo wagon. 500 times 40 is 20, with the 3 extra zeros, 20,000. Alright, so it's actually worse. So basically just don't use barrels. I will use barrels precisely once in this base, and it will be when I need to move lubricant around in the robot-based mall that I will be building. So yes, just to give you an idea of how irrelevant they actually are. Don't use them, basically. Okay, let's make some batteries then, shall we? How many batteries do we want to make? They take 4 seconds in a chemical plant. A flying robot frame is going to need 2 in 20 seconds. I won't need a huge amount of flying robot frames to begin with. I'll need enough to fill up my armor, which I haven't built yet. Let's quickly build some modular armor, shall we? Then we can start thinking about that. So I haven't equipped any armor yet at all. The first one I'm going to build is just the modular armor, which is just steel and advanced circuits, which I have on me. the most part. There we go. And that's obviously just ticking down here in the handcraft queue. Any minute now. So down here is your armor. It's going to equip itself just because it's the first one I've built. There we go. Right, you can right click this to open your modular armor. So you get in the the first one, you get a grid size of 5x5, which means you can build these things here. Anything that goes into placed in equipment grid is what you're looking for here, which is basically just this row. Solar panels are a decent option to power it for now. Batteries to store excess power, and the things that we want. So if we plan ahead, solar panels are 1x1, robot ports are 2x2, so we're going to have probably 2 roboports like this, a whole bunch of solar panels, so we'll build 9 solar panels, some batteries, possibly just 3 batteries, and then that leaves 2 extra spaces here, probably one for belt immunity and the other one, I've made that into a little face, and then another one for, I guess we could use, is this one? No, the night vision is 2x2, which is a pain, that's fine. Portable solar panels, steel plates, advanced circuit solar panels. Alright, let's not worry about that now. I've built it, I've planned for it, let's just move on. Batteries, right, batteries need... I've lost them. Iron plates, copper plates, sulfuric acid. So we can build this basically in the same way that we've built it up here. Iron plates in one side. I mean, you could even attach it to this, bring copper in and do that, but you know, we want to be able to try and scale this a little bit if we can. This is our only water supply nearby, so might not be that easy to scale it, but we can get away with it. Right, okay, fine. Batteries. Just shut up and get on with it, would you? We'll do another 4 for batteries as well. Same principle up here. Pipes like this, but we can attach our fluid here like this, which means we're going to need an underground here for the iron and the copper. Oops. Oh yeah, there's definitely something stuck in my throat. My pill stuck in my throat. Gross. So this is kicked off again just because this is now filling up these pipes. So this side is irrelevant this time. And then now we need iron and copper in equal quantities. This side and this side. You can see that I'm not really going through the math anymore of whether whether everything's going to have enough belts. You kind of just get a feel for it eventually. Like 1 iron plate in 4 seconds craft time. Like you can kind of tell that these things are not gonna. Like half a belt is more than enough. You sort of just get an intuition for it. Obviously half a belt is, or half a yellow belt is 7.5 items per second. You know, like you can kind of just do the mental math for the most part on that. Right, batteries. Am I going to add batteries to the bus? I kind of just want them to go straight into the flying robot frames, to be honest with you. 1 battery in 4 seconds, 2 batteries. No, I do want batteries because I want accumulators probably at some point, which is just iron plates and batteries and solar panels. Alright, let's just start building stuff, Stowie. Let's just do lots of... I'm out of belts. Let's just start doing a whole bunch of small little builds for useful stuff that we're going to need to expand the base, like solar panels, accumulators. The batteries obviously is sorted. That doesn't mean that we're probably going to have to expand this iron. Copper is fine. Which kind of means that the starter base is turning into the base at this point, but it's fine. It's fine. Give me 1,000 transport belts. Thank you so much. How are we doing for inserters? Good. How are we doing for assembly machines? Fine. I will pick up some more because we're going to just start doing some builds now. Give me 50 of those. Lubricant is full. Petroleum gas is full. It's good. We're all sorted. We're all sorted. I should be doing some research. Advanced material processing. That's probably a good one to do, because then we can actually not worry about bringing coal into the main base, the big base, when we're finished, because the electric furnaces don't need coal to do the smelting. They need a lot of electricity, but that'll be fine, because we'll have lots of solar panels and accumulators by then. Okay, builds. Builds. Solar panels need copper, steel and electronic circuits, and accumulators need iron plates and batteries. So let's do solar panels first. This is the kind of thing that just sort of ticks over while you're doing other things. So again, I'm going to just do a 4. And we'll just put them into a box. There's no need to add them to the bus at this point. We will need to add them to the bus in the big base, because they are important components to rocket launches. But for now, we're good. Solar panels. Copper, steel and electronic circuits. So any of these in massive quantities. Electronic circuits is 15 in 10 seconds, so it would make the most sense to just put electronic circuits on their own line. That is completely wrong. Electronic circuits on their own line, and then a different line for the other ones that I just said that I've forgotten. Copper and steel. Electronic circuits need to come this way, and then steel is fine here. Copper is, oh, that's a bit awkward, isn't it? But what are you going to do? Well, that's very awkward, in fact, because that needs to do that. Alright, fine. I'll just keep adding to the spaghetti. This is why the city block build is so good when you actually properly big building, because it just leaves you so much more space, and it's very resilient in terms of how you're bringing your power supplies in and stuff like that. So there's my power. Just not quite there. Alright, okay. Solar panels. 1 every 10 seconds, 4 machines, 4 every 10 seconds, 1 every 2.5 seconds. And we just want loads. Solar power is free. 100% power output during the day. Each solar panel is 60 kilowatts. You know, like it's pretty good. It's pretty good. I keep meaning to press power. I keep pressing random hotkeys, and this is the one I want. I have no issues with just letting this box fill up for as long as is necessary, and also I'm going to take some solar panels so I can keep building these. And I said 9 of these, didn't I? So I can already build 4 with what's on me. But I'll just take these 12 now. There we go. 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I'm manually crafting red circuits because I have the plastic and the copper wire on me. But whatever, it's fine. It's fine. Research and anything and everything really. Substations are going to be useful moving forward. Right, accumulators next. Batteries and iron plates. Now, this is interesting. You could just build the accumulators straight away directly from the chemical plants. I might actually do that. Do a direct insertion method. What the community calls a direct insertion method, where you don't ever bus the intermediate product. How can we do that? We would need a chemical plant putting the battery directly into the assembly machine making the accumulator, but then we'd also need the iron going into both. So you would probably need a long-handed inserter doing this, so that you could then also have a belt like this, bringing the iron from one side and the other. Is that more trouble than it's worth? Probably. Let's just bust batteries, shall we? Because we'll need them for the electric engine units as well. So we'll just bust them. We'll just bust them. It's fine. Okay, I've got some of these portable solar panels now, so I can right-click my modular armor and start putting them down. You just pick them up and you just plop them down. They won't do anything on their own. During the night time, at least. During the day, they'll power some equipment, but it's kind of hard to know what's working and what's not working without... right here in this tiny bar to the left is the battery thing. So let's also build, what did I say, 2 batteries. 2 personal batteries need real batteries and steel plates, so let's just pick some stuff up off the belts by holding F as I walk over them. 3 I said, didn't I? These are a good example of things that you don't need to add to your mall, to your HQ, because you just build one set of them and then you're sorted. Let's continue to research. Work at robot speed is fine. Sure, why not? Alright, accumulators while that's going. I'll do another 4 for accumulators. We can always scale these up later. Why are you building those so close? There's really no need for it. We've got so much space. Same build, basically, except accumulators only need iron and batteries, so you don't need to worry about having 2 sets of belts. Oops. Do the old normal thing here. These can also go into a chest. Right, solar panels are sorted. Personal batteries are 2 by 1 or 1 by 2 if you want to use the actual correct coordinates method. Right, so then now our solar panels will charge our batteries here, 20 megajoules each. And then also we can start thinking about adding actual things. Let's just quickly build the belt immunity just to show you exactly what's going on there and how that works and how we know it's got power and stuff like that. While I take a bit more of my tea, and oh my god, it smells like it tastes like antidepressants. Alright, so this is a piece of equipment that actually uses electricity. We can see here that it only needs 100 kilowatts and it is fully powered at the moment. As we move over to a belt, and we actually... So now we don't get moved by belts. Hooray! We can see that this will actually be doing work, and it's kind of hard to see that it's doing work. You can't see like a little chart for your personal electricity in the same way that you can for your global electricity, like this. You kind of just have to look and see that everything is still fine, like my batteries are still charging there. You can see that the energy bar is going up as the solar panels charge. And then I'm going to leave these 2 spaces here for personal roboports so that my robots can start doing some building later down the line. Hooray! That was not the best place to put that. And then a line of iron as well. That was also not the best place to put that, but I've done it now, so whatever. I'll just continue to make an absolute mess of everything. I'm in a rush. No, not really in a rush. I really want robots. Like, oh my god, how much longer am I going to keep talking about robots? Let's bring some of the power supply down, shall we? enough. Maybe I should limit my stacks, should limit these, like accumulators, what do they stack to? 50. Yeah, filling up this whole box is probably a bit much for now. 200, 1,000, 500, 500. The batteries will be built faster than these will consume them. These only need, well, they need 5 batteries in 10 seconds. Maybe they won't actually, oh my god. 5 batteries in 10 seconds is 1 every 2 seconds, times 4 is 4 every 2 seconds. Wait, what? That's not maths. Yes it is. 1 battery every 2 seconds. 4 Do it by batteries per second, you idiot. Like, why are you doing this weird per 2 second nonsense? 5 batteries in 10 seconds. Half a battery in 1 second. Times 4. 2 batteries every second. These are making 1 battery every 4 seconds. It's a quarter of a battery a second. Times 4 is only 1 battery per second. So we're actually short on batteries. So we're going to need to double this up. If we want our accumulator machines to be working at full tilt, which we arguably don't. But whatever, then you have it, right? Then you have it. There's a good argument there for not removing this one here that's redundant, because it's such a small thing that you could then potentially forget about while you're expanding this. And you expand your build, and you go, why isn't the sulfuric acid getting to half of my machines? And it's because you deleted the end one before, and then copy and pasted it down, and then it just stops there. It just doesn't ever go any further than that. If we're doing this, we may as well roughly balance our belts, I suppose. May as well. No reason not to. Oh no, look at green circuits. That is sad. That is sad. What is happening here? It's because iron is basically dead. It's finally happened, folks. Iron is over. There's still 90,000 here, but you are limited by the sheer number of miners that you can place over the remaining iron ore. We could make this slightly more efficient by changing to the new underground belt design with the regular power poles, because let's not forget this has been here since we first started the game, so we're still using crappy wooden power poles, but it's probably going to be better to just bring in another iron supply from somewhere. We could actually use this one because we've already got the infrastructure here, except I didn't put any signals down. I don't really want to have to explain signals right now. It's still a bit early for that. So I'd rather just hook this up with a single train like we've done with the oil, so that we don't have to worry about signaling and train network and stuff, because I did not want to go into intermediate / advanced train networking. Nah, definitely intermediate. Intermediate train networking is still too early. It's still too early, but we do need to fix this. But I guess that's going to have to just be something for me to do off camera, off stream, and I'll just say, look, I've hooked more iron up. It's basically the same. Solar panels has just killed it, really, hasn't it? We're going to have to just turn this off, I think, because it's using far too many electronic circuits. We need electronic circuits to make electric engine units, which is definitely what we wanted to do. It was definitely the whole point. It doesn't look that bad, does it? Like, we've got the bus. You can see here the benefits of the bus. Is that it's not particularly well laid out, but you've got your modules here that you just append to the bus, right? Like, and you just find the space. The next thing you want to build, like, could just go here, as long as it doesn't need the batteries or the accumulators or anything else that happens further down the bus. You've got space for it there. So, like, I could just build more more engine units here, and I'll probably do that. I'll probably just quickly do that. Engine units and electric engine units are quite good in that they have the same craft time. 10 seconds. So irregardless of your assembly machine crafting speed, you can just pair them up with direct insertion like this. Engine units into electric engine units. And then you don't necessarily have to worry about busing engine units, you just build them. This is obviously going to be a total disaster because I just don't have the iron to facilitate it. Same here, like I should be balancing these, but it's just not going to work. I am totally out of iron. But I will build it. I will do the build, and then it will all kick into gear afterwards. In the next episode it will be up and running. Right, so we need some electric engine units. We know that one pipe and one gear wheel factory is enough to supply like 10 of these, and I don't need 10 factories making electric engine units. That is huge overkill. But it will be fine. Alright, let's put it here. The beginnings of it here anyway. And we'll do the same thing that we did up here. I should have just copy and pasted this really, because this is exactly the same. This bit is the same, it's just where the engine units go is going to be different. So that is the steel, isn't it? Yeah. So that's fine. So the only thing that didn't work there is the splitter. And then some iron needs to come this way. Oof. So I should be careful here to not use too many resources on anything that isn't getting more iron into the base, because there is a small chance that without any iron at all I can't even do this bit. So let's just be sure that I've got rails. 374 rail? That's not that many. I should probably sort that. TBH. I should probably make sure that I have more rail than that. And the issue is stone. Alright. Bring a whole bunch of stone down. I'll need some trains, or a train at the very least. Steel plates, electric engine units, that should be fine. Some cargo wagons, not a huge amount of anything really. Just give me all of this. Just give me as much of this as my inventory can handle. Oh, look at it. It's so sad. Finally happened. Science has just stopped because we don't have enough green circuits and iron plates to make the inserters that's making the green science. Oh dear. We all knew this would happen. And it's especially worse in this playthrough because I'm taking it so very slowly. Oh, big old stretch. Big stretch. Let's get the stuff that we need built now, shall we? Just as a resiliency. Because I don't think it's actually a good idea to finish that engine unit build right now, in retrospect. I think just get iron sorted. And I mean, it's not a problem, like there is loads of it. You just don't want to have to, you know, you don't want to get yourself so messed up that you have to mine a whole bunch of iron and bring it back to the base to get the stuff that you need from your mall, to go back and actually, you know, like, ugh, could be a mess, could be a total mess. Alright, so I'll do that, ready for the next episode, which will be Sunday. Today is Wednesday for me. Yes, so I can... Yeah, alright. Thank you so much for watching. Can't remember what we even did. We just did some builds, didn't we? We just did some builds. It was nice. Just hung out, had a good time. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed, please let me know with a like or a comment, and if you want to see more Factorio Over-Explained, be sure to subscribe. Other than that, thank you so much, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.